thing is, I still have a third of a loaf of bread here. And it's kind of stale. I want to do something with it, right? What can I do? I mean, I could do more sweetbread pudding. I still have cinnamon and nutmeg and sugar, but the pears are a good possibility. But I'm thinking breakfast bread pudding. I have a whole carton here of mushrooms. I've got a big chunk here of breakfast sausage, some green bell peppers, and some strange Mexican cheese. This is queso panela basket. And got it thinking it was ricotta. Wasn't paying attention. I need to use this. Yeah. To make this bread pudding, I'm going to use what I have on hand. So I'm going to start off with a third of a loaf of whole grain bread, although you can use anything you want. If you want to use hamburger buns or English muffins or anything that's bready, except for, you know, maybe gingerbread, go right ahead. I'm going to take and mix in my eggs along with my milk and make sure that my yolks are fully busted, but I'm not too worried about whether or not they are fully beaten together. Next, I'm going to go ahead and fry up some sausage. Here's a pound of beef sausage that I happen to have available. I also have a single bell pepper and a single onion that I'm going to go ahead and dice up. Let's go ahead and get them all in the pan together and get them frying. Let's also take half a pound of mushrooms, which I also happen to have on hand, and dice them up finely. When it comes time that the onions are fully translucent, just dump those mushrooms right in there. As soon as the mushrooms start to brown, remove it all from the heat and fully drain your sausage and vegetable mixture. I'm also going to take a pound of cheese. In this case, the basket cheese, the panela cheese that I happened to pick up at the store accidentally, and has a nice creamy flavor to it. So I'm cutting up a pound of this cheese into roughly diced sections. And now it's time to put them all together. I have my mostly drained sausage, peppers, onions, and mushrooms right here. Here is my Mexican basket cheese. Remember, any cheese that you want. I have my eggs that are mixed into my milk right here, and here's my bread. Let's start off with my spatula and my eggs mixture, and let's blend this all together. Just carefully fold, or not so carefully fold, it really doesn't matter. And it's just dampening the bread at this point. All that's getting soaked in. We're not going to be too worried about how much soaks in though this time, because we have another binder in addition to the eggs, that being the cheese right here. Now to pour in this sausage mixture with the peppers, onions, and mushrooms. And the idea, of course, is not to fully incorporate, just fold it in. So it's going to be somewhat equivalent whenever it gets together. And now, of course, the cheese. You can also add a drained can of tomatoes or whatever vegetables that you like to have with your breakfast, although avocados might be a little weird. And now the cheese. And it's just folding over. Obviously, with chunks this big, we're not going to have a lot of blending with this. The whole idea is to get it somewhat balanced out. Now, a dish. Now, normally I would say a 13 by 9 baking dish. I think I took mine over to the other house and unfortunately don't have it with me. So I've got a nice casserole here, which should do the job. It's a little deeper. It's not quite as long and wide, but we'll just cook a little longer to make sure everything is okay. And of course, got to get some of that non-stick spray in here. And make sure you get the outside edges and completely coat that. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to get that out of that pan, and it's going to make it a mess whenever it's time to wash it. Now that our pan is fully coated, let's set it down right here, and we've got our mixture as you see here. our big old chunks of cheese and sausage and little bits of peppers and onions and mushrooms, and oh, that's a very, very filling dinner. Let's go ahead and turn it out. And this could be dinner, this could be breakfast. It doesn't really matter what you choose. If you like sausage, if you like breakfast for dinner, this would be a really good one. Let's make sure it all fits properly in there. And hey, would you look at that? Once again, it is a pound of meat, whichever meat you happen to have available. Roughly a pound of other matter, like your vegetables, your mushrooms, your peppers, or less. It doesn't matter. Then a pound of cheese, more or less. Also, once again, doesn't matter. You want to mix up different sorts of cheeses? That's fine. All right, we're making sure now that it's all basically even here. Maybe stick some of the cheese on the top. Poke it down in there. And it's off to the oven. Now it's time for us to go check out our first bread pudding, the apple pie filling bread pudding, and see how it's looking. Ooh, nice and piping hot with apple slices on the top, and oh, that really does smell like an apple pie, but it's a bread pudding. So we're going to take a knife just to make sure it's cooked through, just like a cake. If the egg is fully cooked, then you're good to go. If it's not, well, we'll go do a little bit more cooking in the oven. It's not exact, and that's the beauty of this. Right in the center, comes out roughly clean. Saw through it first. Then I like to go and press all the way through. And then I'm going to take my spatula to get up underneath it. I'm going to use the knife to make sure I can get up underneath here. And then I'm going to use it to hold it onto the spatula. Ha ha! Almost. Would you look at this steaming hot slice of apple pie bread pudding. Oh, it smells divine. But the big thing is, how's it taste? Not too sweet, but so good. Nice apple pie flavor throughout. Now that the appropriate time has passed, let's go take a look at our savory breakfast bread pudding. It is very lovely. It's also not very shaky otherwise. And look at that. Let's see how well it has cooked through. Now, take into account that it has molten cheese in it, so chances of it being a clear draw are not strong. But if I insert my knife into the bread pudding, you can see it has substance in it. In fact, I have a clean knife. This one's ready to go, but just for safety's sake, we're going to wait a minute before we cut a slice. Once again, we will find a section and we will cut as thoroughly as we can get through. This might be a little tougher just because the sausage is in pieces in here. It might be a bit more solid than what we get with the apple pie filling. Once again, let's run that nice knife right along the edge and get the spatula up underneath it. Turn the knife over and let's just pick up a hunk and put it right there. Oh, yeah, buddy. This smells great. So let's give it a shot. Oh, wow. Nice chunks there. Sausage and pepper and, ooh, there's a bit of cheese. Yes, this is spectacular. That you can spice it up just a little bit to make something really extraordinary for your family or for your next group gathering. It's all based on the ratio of 4 cups of bread cubed, preferably stale, 1 cup of milk, and 4 eggs. And you can expand it or contract it however you want. And if you want a savory bread pudding, just add in some meat, some cheese, some vegetables. Or if you want to go sweet, you can add sugar or add something that has a sweetness already to it, like pie filling, chocolate sauce, or even preserves. And you could even create a sauce to go on top if you want something just a little bit more decadent. Bread pudding. It's so versatile. Whether you like your sweet or if you like it savory, there's always some sort of bread pudding meant just for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a direct message or leave them in the comments below this video and tag me so that I can see that you've responded. I've got a very bready dinner to go enjoy now. Thanks for watching.